Hello everybody, this is Buzz and I'm going to do a fairly quick how-to on how to fix the leaking issue with the Veri Stack or the V6 or VP6 or the 350 VV. If you seen my last review, you saw me use it. You saw all the juice down inside of my batteries. It wasn't very good. I've taken it apart. It's just got, I did it a little while ago. I put the screws in a little bag here. They're pretty tiny, so I didn't want to lose them. And you can see, look how tiny those wires are. This is a toothpick. It's about 5 times fatter than those little skinny wires. So you take this apart, be very careful. I had it completely all apart and I cleaned everything up real well with alcohol, and now I'm ready to fix the problem. Okay, I'm going to kind of push the 5-10 connection out of the way there. What I'm going to do is put some caulk in it. I have some caulk available to me through my job that's has some heat resistant qualities. It's definitely waterproof. I wouldn't use straight silicone. It's not that good a sealant. If you sandwich things together with it, it works okay, but for heat and what we're going to use, it's not the right thing. Maybe some RTV silicone like you would put on a water pump you get at the auto parts store, something like that would work pretty well. I'm going to take a toothpick, get a little caulk here, and see, you can see the way that connector fits in there. There's nothing to seal it up. It just runs inside there. It runs down here, and once you take the screws out, it's got just some little plastic locks on it. Real simple device as far as that goes. Just kind of gently pried it apart, and it came apart, and I didn't break anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smear a little bit of caulk inside of here. There we go. I'm going to be liberal. I can wipe it off if I get any on the outside later on. Make sure and get the edge there. Okay. Now, remember them little tiny wires. You're going to have to be real careful. This connection, this 510 connection is slotted. And it fits in beside those battery posts. Oh, that's kind of hard to do. Let's see, here's an atomizer I got laying right here. Make this a little easier to handle. Just fits in there just like so, and it fits in nice and snug. Okay, now we're going to take the atomizer off. And you can see I squished a little caulk out of there, so we know that that's sealed up pretty good. Now on this side, we're going to put a little bit of that caulk, and I'm going to be careful and not get it into my buttons. And if you take that all the way apart, it's kind of a booger to get back into the little slots, but you can do it, and like I said, be really careful. Those wires are really thin and probably really easy to break the solder in. I can say the guy that soldered them little wires like that is a damn good at his job, because I can barely, you can hardly see it, let alone solder it. But okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Smear some caulk in there, make sure and get it up here on the edges so it don't just miss a spot and it runs down inside of there. Okay, now we got the 5-10 connection sealed real well. Now I'm going to go a little bit further. And there's where my buttons are. I'm going to start up here, work in a little bit of this caulking. There's a little groove along this, and I'm going to be real careful and not get it close enough to them buttons to cause any problems once this stuff dries. Okay, this side, there's nothing over here for it to interfere with, to cause any trouble with. By the way, if you do this, guarantee you voided your warranty. Even though you're making it better, they're not going to like that you took it apart. You know, a lot of places use any excuse to not have to replace anything. I mean, they're there to make money. I gave this thing a crappy review, and I also wrote a crappy review, and I noticed that on the website they didn't post it. That doesn't surprise me. While it was worked, the vendor did try to call, but he didn't call back. My wife answered the phone and told him I'd be back about 4, and he's probably busy. I mean, he's probably just wants to talk about it. I don't know. He's probably a nice guy. Nothing wrong with him. I just think this is a crappy product, and I hope I'm not hurting his feelings or pissing him off or whatever. This is just, it is what it is. I mean, this is a cheap device, and I'm helping everybody make a little fix for it so it'll work nicely for them. Okay, see, we've got some caulk on there. I would say we can safely say that will seal that all up real good. Let's double check and make real sure we got the 510 connector sealed up. We got quite a bit of caulk there. Okay, so let's put that on there. And match them up. We got that on there, just like so. Everything looks good. Snap it together. It's not snapping together up there very well. What did we do wrong? Nothing so far. It's kind of hard to do. There it goes. Now it went back together. There, that looks pretty good. Let's see if all the buttons still work. That works. That works. Fire button works. Cool. I'd say we got her in good. I'm going to let it set up a little bit before I clean it all off. Let's go ahead and put the screws in it. That'll help it tighten up. Got to get a really small Phillips screwdriver, like the kind you get I got it at a gas station. It's a glasses screwdriver. Okay, let's tighten the screws down. There's one screw pretty tight. Wish it was kind of a magnetic screwdriver, huh? Have to look around for one of those. And there's another. I'm going to do them crossways. So we tighten them down a little bit on one side, a little bit on the other. Okay, that's good and tight. Let's check our buttons now that we've started tightening it. Yeah, everything still seems to be working okay. Might be a little issue there. We'll see when we get all together. Hopefully. Okay, there's one last screw to put in. Bear with me. Hey, I got them all in there. I didn't drop them. Notice I put the paper towel down on the table because the little screws dropped on the hard tabletop. They'd go bouncing across the floor and you'd never ever find them again in a million years. Okay. There we go. That looks good. Buttons all work. Okay, let's throw a set of batteries in there and see if we didn't screw it up or not. Okay, here's a set of freshly charged batteries. I like to keep them in these little cases. Okay, put the positive up. Unfortunately, I can't see no good way to fix that crappy cap. I'm sure if somebody was better fixing things than I am, you could make it a little bit better metal and spring. But let's line up the way it's supposed to go on. We turned it. Okay, set on 3-0, 3-1. Let's hold it in, see if it changes. Oh, cool. We got her fixed. And I'm very certain, see all that goop in there, that that's not going to leak. I'm going to let that set up real well, and then I'll take a warm cloth and wipe all that off of there, and the rest of that will be stuck down inside of there, and no more leaking issues. So now I'm back to being kind of happy with this thing. Just a cheap little deal. I don't know, sucked when it didn't work right, but it's kind of satisfying to fix it. I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. That's about all I got to say about that. Let me get my new PV so I can do my signature sign off. And everybody, keep on vaping.